Hello there. Today's video is on CSS, and I've got a page here with 3 paragraphs inside of it, and here's the HTML and CSS. We're actually going to do line height on this video. So line height, and it'll wind up being measurable in several things. I don't think you can actually do percentage on this one. Oh, you can do percentage. You can't do it with the letter spacing. You can also do inches, so 1 inch, and that'll put it'll make each line take up 1 inch worth of room. With the percentage, it reserves the top 1% that the line requires. So if you're saying you're using a 10-point font, it'll have 1 point where it reserved, and then it'll start laying down that next line into that second point. So it'll wind up covering 90%, or 1%, sorry. It'll cover up 99% of the thing. There's also centimeters, which makes each line 1 centimeter tall. There's millimeters. You can do millimeters. There's millimeters. Let's make it a little bigger. 10 millimeters. How about 5 millimeters? How about 3 millimeters? There you go. So it reserves 3 millimeters for each line before it starts putting down the next line, and that makes it overlap in my browser. So there you go. Let's do 2 millimeters. Yeah, it's kind of cool. The nice thing about this is it makes nice little patterns. It's always fun for me to do. It's like a magic eye picture. So there's millimeters. There's ems. Ems are a measurement of typography, typing, that measures the capital M. I can't remember if it's the height or the width, but that's why it's called an M, because it measures the, it's based on the font size, basically. There's also an X, which is the case of a lowercase x, which is usually half font size. So 2x should equal 1m. Make sure that's right. It's not a precise measurement. You know, we've gotten a little ways from the printing press, but they also have point. So we've got we'll do 1 point. We've also got well, 1 point is 1/72 of an inch. It's not actually the point in the font size. It may be, I don't know. So if I do 72 point, that will be the same size as 1 inch. There you go. The pica, so pica, I always think that's percent. So 1 pica is actually 12 point. There we go, 12 point. If I do 12 point, 1 pica equals 12 points, so this should look exactly the same. Then we've got pixels, so we can do 1 pixel. Refresh. We can do a negative pixel, but that's not going to work as well. No, apparently you can't do a negative. You can do negatives with the letter spacing, but you can't do it with line heights, I guess. So there's let's do 10 pixels. There we go. 20 pixels, and that doubles the size. So line height is a property, and it measures how tall is reserved, what type of space is reserved for that line before it starts laying down the next line, so you can actually make the lines overlap. The available measurements are percentage, inches, centimeters, millimeters, ems, x's, points, picas, and pixels. And like I said, you can't do negative. Well, you can do negatives on some of the measurements. You'll just have to kind of experiment with that. No, you can't do negatives, because if I do a negative millimeter and then do a negative 2 millimeter, no change. So you're not allowed to use negatives either. Anyway, there you go, line height. Hopefully you'll get to use this property in the future, and thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the experience of this tutorial, why not share it with your friends?